Good morning, good morning, good morning. Lady Chelsea, how are you this fine morning?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I am feeling so good. London is warm. Huh?
Yeah. Yay.
Ah,
Oh.
London is warm. It's comparable to the Caribbean. Can you believe
Mhm.
that, huh?
Mhm. No. Very happy.
Oh, you know when the sun is shining, we all radiate, you know?
Mhm.
That's why I'm
Mhm.
wearing the yellow today, just to
Oh, that makes
radiate,
that's bright
reflect it
colors.
back, the
Yeah.
sun's yeah?
Mhm.
Okay, so welcome to you, Lady Chelsea. Hey, it's
Thank you.
good to see you. It's good that
You
the
too.
youngsters are there in full fledged. Hey,
Mhm.
okay, all right, okay. Now let's start, shall we? Let's get the program going. I think, again, as the custom dictates, I want to congratulate and give praise to Ian King, who brought
Mhm.
us from night to day. The stalwart was ensured that this station continued throughout the early morning hours till this time to hand over to us. Thank you, Ian King. Yeah.
Mhm.
Again, also give recognition to the Galaxy management, the visionaries who more than 30 years ago started this radio station. I want to, of course, give praise to Chief Akombabai, the revolutionary visionary leader. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Elder Eric Krute, well, I don't see enough, and I trust it well. Um,
Yeah.
Abu Ratata, ah, that man of distinction. Yeah, Empress Shanice, highly capable sister of immense abilities. Yeah,
Mhm.
solutions. Huh? Oh, you can't fault that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
um, SG vibes. Yeah, that long-standing pilot who's been here for most of that time. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, more than 30 years. Can you believe it? Huh? Wow.
It's a long, long time.
Hey, 30 years time, Lady Chelsea, huh? I want to give praise to them all, and much respect to them. And never
Mhm.
forgetting, as one of our previous guests would have said, it's not Africa's natural resources that matters, it's the technology that derives from those natural resources. That's where
Yeah.
the wealth is.
Mhm.
That's where the genuine wealth is to be found, in the technology that derives from our natural resources. So whilst Africa is a natural resource in abundance, and yes, makes some money, the real wealth is in the technologies that we can develop from those natural resources. Yeah, that's where the wealth is. So I want to give
Mhm.
praise to the engineers who've kept us alive, kept this station going throughout that time. Yeah, because as we move the technology, you know, it's the engineers who've had to adapt and study and familiarize themselves with the latest technology, because that's where the power resides. You know,
Mhm.
the technology. Okay,
Mhm.
so this particular program, of course, is being transmitted live via a galaxyafiwi.com radio station, digital radio station, as well as being transmitted at the Motivator Show alongside Lady Chelsea. Yeah,
Mhm.
okay, across Facebook and across YouTube, easily
Mhm.
found. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Motivator Show. And I believe that's an example of a further technological step that we've been making over these decades.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are very much on the map, very much on the map. So I want to give praise to everyone who's contributed to us being here today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. And I want you to quickly just remember what happened last week before I get on to the health
Yeah.
section.
Mhm.
I thought last week was quite inspirational, wasn't it? The lobby of
Yeah.
Parliament, Global African Congress lobby of Parliament. Yeah? And we're both there, yeah? We're both there, and we both witnessed African people in dialogue about reparations with members of parliament, yeah?
Yeah.
A truly memorable occasion, truly memorable, you know? And those of you who were not there, I can assure you, the members of parliament did not bite, did they?
No, not that I've heard.
They were not abusive, were they?
No,
They weren't contradictory, were they?
no.
They were very much in listening mode. Yeah? Very much listening mode. Why? Because we as African peoples are electorates, you know? We vote for members of parliament, you know? Yeah, we vote for political representatives, which might include members of parliament, councillors, parish councillors, and so on, you know? Yeah, city mayors, we vote. And therefore our vote and our voices matter. Don't let anyone tell you, oh, no, our voice don't matter, huh? It absolutely matters. Otherwise, there'll be no members of parliament who'd want to talk to us because it wouldn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
We wouldn't have any political representation. And even though the government is not of my flavor, I've got to express some appreciation for the fact that there is a significant numbers of non-white senior political figures now in government.
Yeah.
You cannot dispute it. Cannot dispute it. Yeah. So well done to them. They're not my political flavor, but I say well done to them.
Yeah. Well, I think, yeah.
Well done, you know.
No.
You know. After all, I only hope that my party will do a much better job in ensuring equalities of opportunity, recognizing the abilities of our peoples in high office. You know, I can only hope that is the case. I can only hope so. Time will tell, of course. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what we should also do is also recognize that as we evolve as a community, our confidence is raised. As we raise our confidence, then we become much more assertive. Okay, and of course, as we become much more assertive, you start to get what you want.
Yeah.
Because in life, things don't typically just fall into your hands, do they? You know?
No.
You have to go out and work for it, huh?
Yeah.
And I know, Lady Chelsea, you work hard, okay? I won't tell your business to other people, but I know you work very hard.
Okay,
Yeah?
As
a young woman, I know you work very hard, you know? And I can only express my admiration for you, you know?
Really. Thank you. It's appreciated.
Honestly, you work very hard, you know? You are a testament to the youth. You know, we'd be proud to hand over the mantle to yourselves. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
I know you work very hard, but recognizing, though, go back to the political representation. That as that confidence is raised, then we become more assertive and we're confident that we can get what we want. You know. Now remember, there will be many forces that will act against us, intending to undermine our confidence. Okay. Yeah. Typical tools used is the police force to intimidate young people, you know? Yeah. That's what they do. Intimidate, undermine confidence. That's what they intend to do. Yeah. I'm confident when I say this that there are racists within the police force. Yeah. Yeah. You would not have these wide disparities if that was not so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There are racists in the judicial system. You wouldn't have the disparity on the numbers of our community members in jails for offences that if it were a white male or female, would not be in jail.
Yeah.
I'm confident when I say that. Yeah. But evidence speaks for itself.
Yeah. No, you're right.
And I'm going to repeat what I said in previous weeks. It starts with the monarch. Yeah. The monarch needs to be explicit on this subject. Yeah. whether you be black or you white, be others, yeah, we're all equal under the law, yeah, and we all are here as taxpayers making a contribution to Britain, yeah. You most certainly pay a lot of tax for all the work you do, Lady Chelsea.
Yeah.
And all you want to do is just make for yourself a wholesome, satisfying life. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's all you want to do.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
There you go. If only people like the monarch could hear that and therefore understand when the monarch doesn't speak out against those disparities, then it is inferred that the monarch is complicit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The leaders are quiet about injustices. Yeah. Those who commit those injustices assume tacit approval.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyway, enough of that for the moment, because
Yeah.
I'm sure the monarch and her crowd are listening. And I know they're very slow in getting this message. I know they're very, very slow in getting the message. But, you know, the theme for today's program will focus on mental health and the effects of lack of leadership has been having on our community. But before we get to that, I want to start with the health messages.
Yeah.
Okay. Health messages are an integral part of this program because we can do better as a community in respect of our health. We can do better. So I want to remind the listeners, remind our peoples to consider how much sugar you're ingesting. Do you need the extra spoons of sugars in your teas, coffees, and other drinks, you know? Yeah. Consider the amount of these sweet drinks, cans of those popular branded products, yeah, with a jam packed full of sugar, yeah, which today may not harm you, tomorrow may not harm you, next week may not harm you, next year may not harm you, even the next decade may not harm you, but in successive decades, be assured, will have a damaging effect on your body, similar to salt, yeah. Cumulative effect over time is damaging to our bodies. Okay.
Yeah.
So we should think carefully about the amount of salt and sugars we're ingesting. I'm not going to tell you how much you should be ingesting. I say to you, go speak to your doctor, speak to your nutritionist, and he or she will provide the professional advice. I'm not a professional advisor, but I do know common sense when I see it. Okay?
Yeah.
All right? Speak to your specialist, the person who you go to for that type of advice. Okay, salt, sugar, fats in our foods. You know. I'm always astonished when I see people consuming in large quantities fish and chips, and when you look at how that's been prepared, it is prepared in a vat full of oil. Yeah, you're laughing.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It's a lot.
So
it's a lot of oil.
is damaging to our health.
Yeah.
It's damaging, you know. Diabetes, hypertension, salt, sugars, fats, yeah. Accumulation in your bodies, yeah.
Yeah,
it's bad for your heart and your organs, yeah. Yeah. That's why we have so many people have cardiac conditions, you know. Problems with their heart, yeah. Accumulation of fats in your blood, clogging up your arteries. Yeah. So your heart is having to work that much harder because of the arteries have been contracted. Yeah. But that's fat. Can you imagine? We do it to ourselves.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Carbohydrates in undue quantities. You know. That's flour. You know. Now, flour is in most things I know, I realize. Yeah? But what we do, we convert the carbohydrates into sugars, into fats, and we store it in our bodies. It's a further contributor to the lifestyle diseases, diabetes, hypertension, cardiothoracic diseases, and many of these cancers as well. Yeah? And of course, the way to combat it, of course, is to eat more fruits and vegetables every day. The way to combat it is to drink the appropriate amount of water each day. You know, I've got my water. There's some lovely fruits in there
Very
to give
good.
a nice flavour.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lovely. Oh, lovely. Lovely. You know, it's so important to drink the right amount of water each day. I'm told 2 to 3 liters, but again, speak to your nutritionist, speak to your doctor. He or she will provide very authoritative advice. But common sense dictates that this is what our body craves: more fruits and vegetables, appropriate amount of water, and indeed ensuring you have the right amount of minerals and other trace elements which are essential to your body's immuno response. You know, very important. Why do I keep doing this every week? Because I see far too many people who are living lifestyles that can only end in tears, and shortened lifestyles, shorten their time on this planet. Unnecessarily so. But I recognize that in some cases, some people are simply depressed. You know? I do recognize that. Okay. And I hope later on in this program, when we talk about mental health, psychiatric health, you know, we'll begin to get closer to that. You know. Because of course, as our good friend up in Nottingham would have reminded us, I talk about the physical health often, but not enough about the mental health, you know? Indeed, our spiritual health, because that's really what we are as African people, truly spiritual people, you know? And we were reminded that we should think in terms of our spiritual health and raising our energy levels through our actions, yeah? And therefore giving ourselves time to allow all the pressures of the world just to go away, you know, and allow that moment where we can be at peace and at one with ourselves and our surroundings, you know. And those moments are so precious, incredibly precious. It allows your body to raise its robustness, you know. I say raise your energy levels, so you're more able to cope with life and its challenges. You know? Give yourself those times, you know, give yourself those times. And at this point, I would always say, praise Jah, Rastafari. And we're going to get to that why I say that affirmation later on, because it's going to be a really interesting show. So those are the health messages. And not forgetting, of course, as Elder Norma would tell us, we must exercise, you know. I've got my weights here. Don't worry, I've got them here.
There you go.
Oh yeah, come on.
Good. I'll be every morning. Every morning.
Your weights,
next week. Next week. I'll be with
I want to keep stretching those arms,
stretching
those muscles. Yeah. Oh, so important, you know. Our sedentary lifestyles does lend itself against exercising, yeah? But you've got to make a part of your usual daily routine to exercise. Yeah? As you would walk, you exercise. You want to do more walking, more stretching, you know, and more meditating. Okay, I'll stop the health messages now. Okay, well, it's so important. I wanted people to remember the health messages are a crucial part of our broader mental health and promoting good mental health. Yeah? Mental, spiritual health. Yeah, really very, very important. Okay. And then lastly, they say, I did want to give recognition to past contributors. So we mentioned the Global African Congress and the Lobby of Parliament. Okay, I was really impressed by the sheer number of our people present online. This was online lobbying, and the numbers of MPs that attended as well. I want to recognize the Global African Congress and their tremendous work they are doing in the community. And those of you who want to contact Global African Congress can contact them either via Facebook. They have a Facebook page, and they also have a website as well, which is www.gacuk.org.uk. Okay. And Oh, get that right. .com, I think, at the end. Yes, get that right. Get that right. At the end. If it's not, I'll correct it later on. Okay. But they are a tremendous organization, and one I would encourage listeners to get involved, because they are actually they're not simply talking about these matters, they're doing it. Yeah. And the lobby, and I'll get members of Global African Congress to come back and to discuss the outcome of that lobby, and what impression that was formed. But remember, it's all about our confidence, and we should not allow ourselves to be marginalized, or we're less than, We are taxpayers, we are voters, and therefore our opinions and our vote matters, okay? And therefore we can persuade other communities of our way of thinking as to how to improve Britain for us all, not just for some. Yeah, there was a saying in the old Labour Party, for the many, not the few, which I find quite a catchy phrase, to be honest with you. And I think I would ascribe to that philosophy, for the many, not the few. For the few can take care of themselves, no problem, and they're getting richer off our backs. But we need to make sure that the many, particularly those who are vulnerable, are protected. Okay. And again, I did further shout out for Elder Norma. She is well. She had an operation last week, and she is fine.
Great.
I want to give recognition to her. I think at this time, Lady Chelsea, I think we might want to go to your section. Okay. The section devoted, and we have been very determined in this. I think you'd agree.
Very determined,
I think you'd agree to encourage.
Younger
amongst the young, for them to write books.
Yes,
So young Malachi, a young man at 14, he may well be older now, but at 14, wrote his first book. Wasn't it Malachi was an exceptional student, or got some particular ability? It just he's got an outstanding parent. Yes, Sister Segment.
Yes,
who believes in him. Can you have a parent who believed in you? Wow. And when you have a parent that believes in you, a child will excel beyond all bounds of imagination, because that belief is transmitted, and because they're children, they completely believe it. And therefore, they could run the 2-minute mile if you demand that of them, because that's all they would know. Their minds are widened, but they're empowered because the community, the parent, believe in him. And his mother is truly outstanding. I want to say to Sister Segment, and as I need to give another affirmation, praise Jah, Rastafari to you. Long may the power be with you always, because she has produced a wonderful son.
Yeah, she really has.
Okay. Yeah. So go ahead. I'll hand over to you, Lady Chelsea.
Yeah, that's fine. So as the motivator said, this is like the little competition we're running for children under 16. And it's to win the book that Malachi wrote, the book that we've been pushing, we think is like amazing that he's done that. And it's called Tutankhamun, The Tale of the Adventurous Boy King. So same as always, we have 2 questions. I have one for under 10s and one for 11 to 16-year-olds. I'll say the number first, just so that you can be prepared, and I'll do the questions. Okay, so the number to call in to answer questions is 0203 481 5240. And then you'll be asked to put in a PIN number, which is 370 733 4397, and that's followed by the hash key or the hash sign.
Let me tell them, because you know I've got to do this.
Oh, yes,
it's a vertical and the horizontal symbol on your keypad, I've got to say, got to tell them that.
That's sorry. Sorry. Okay.
And those of you who are watching us via Facebook and YouTube, of course, on your screen, you should see the studio number. Okay, over to you.
Yeah, okay. So the first question is going to be for the children under 10. I'm going to play that and I'll repeat it just so that it's clear. So this is for children under 10.
Question 4. What does Kemet mean?
That question is, what does Kemet mean? And then question number 2.
Moms and dads, boys and girls who are listening, that is the question for you. And I will just remind you, if you get the question right, your sons or daughters will receive £25 plus a signed copy of Malachi's book.
Yeah, there's the prizes.
There you go.
So I'll do the second question. This is for 11 to 16-year-olds.
Question 10. At what age did Tutankhamun pass away?
And that is, at what age did Tutankhamun pass away?
Wow, right. I wonder how many of the adults who are online now could answer that question.
Yeah, I don't know. Might be few, maybe. Hopefully.
Is that a further evidence how it's important for parents to ensure that our children are taught our history?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely is. Yeah.
And we need more cultural centers, so children can be totally absorbed in our culture and understand history from our perspective. And not allow our children to be seduced by the British idea that the only history that's African history starts with the enslavement period. Okay. Our history goes back 10, 20, 30,000 years.
Yeah, more than that. Yeah.
So it's really is important. And the challenges we've had, of course, to encourage both parents and children to respond to those questions. It's interesting, but it's a lesson for us all. We definitely need cultural centers for our children, so we can teach them our culture, our traditions, our history. But parents who are listening, young Malachi was 14 when he wrote the book. And the name of the book, Lady Chelsea?
Is Tutankhamun, The Tale of the Adventurous Boy King.
There you go. Tutankhamun, The Tale of the Adventurous Boy King. What a young man.
Okay, amazing.
Okay, he wrote it at age 14. Oh my God. Inspired by his mother. His mother believed in him. Wow. I mean, can you imagine? So inspired, And that's what parenting is all about, to inspire the young mind, to develop that precociousness, asking questions at all times, wanting to investigate, to research, and thirsty for knowledge, Such a child will rule the world.
Definitely.
Child will rule the world. I'm going to give out the number again to those parents and young people who want to respond to these questions. And the number to call is 0203 481 5240. You're asked to enter a PIN number, which is 3707 33 4397, and to complete, and you must press the # sign, the vertical and the horizontal symbol on your keypad. Okay, and we'll keep doing this because we're very determined, Lady Chelsea, are we?
Yeah, we are
absolutely determined. We're going to keep doing this until parents and young people ring in and give us those answers, because we know we have got absolute faith that the knowledge exists amongst our people. You never know. We might have to ask our guests if they could get the answers right.
That would be interesting.
that might be interesting. And let's now we've completed that segment. Let's have a look at a previous guest who was on the show, and who I spoke to earlier this week, and that was Ndidi Echewa. You recall the journalist from Nigeria, okay?
Yeah.
On the so she provided some latest updates what's happening in Nigeria at the moment, and of course, what her primary goal at the moment is to raise the consciousness about the Nigerian constitution, or lack of a constitution.
Okay, yeah.
Because it starts off a constitution for the people, we the people. But of course, the people did not vote for the constitution.
Yeah.
Yeah. Start off with we the people. And of course, what she's argued is that the situation in Nigeria is becoming increasingly more complex between the different groups of people, and of course the Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, Fulani, and other communities are now trying to find ways in which they can live mutually in mutual harmony. But the tension is, of course, is the competing interest. And the competing interests are usually external, but also as a result of this climate change. You know? And of course, the herdsmen and those who farm, particularly in the northern part of the country, that's where the real tension at the moment is coming from. Okay? And of course, how wealth is distributed. So you have the people in the Delta region where the oil is primarily centered, but are poor. Yeah, they're poor. And the oil has been extracted, and there's very little opportunity for local people to share in the wealth of the nation. And that is a real challenge right now.
Yeah.
I wonder if do we have a parent on the line who wishes to respond to an earlier question? Is there a parent on the line, I wonder? If not, that's fair enough. That way you could stay and listen, if that's fine. If not a parent, that's okay, I'll continue.
Okay.
That's all right. So I found the discussion with Ndidi quite interesting, and we need to get her back on again to give us a sort of update on what is happening in Nigeria. Because it's a fascinating country. It's a country that should be the engine for Africa, okay? But it has complexities which it's yet to fully cope with. And of course, it's a relatively young country, but it's surrounded by mature countries who have a vested interest to retard its growth. And that's what's important, you know. Unlike Britain or America, didn't have these external countries that would seek to undermine their growth. Here, we have countries who have vested interest to undermine Nigeria and similar countries' growth. And it's that which we must prevent, you know. It takes a level of collaboration, civilization to overcome external forces, those external forces. Okay? So that's an important observation. Okay? And I want to keep thinking about how we can contribute to helping Nigeria find peace, because it's only through peace will the wealth of Nigeria begin to filter out across the entire country. How can you be a country that is amongst the top 5 oil producers, but yet you don't have consistent electricity supply?
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Isn't that ridiculous? Or have amongst one of the best healthcare systems in the world, because you're generating billions of dollars of wealth, you know? So it implies that there are forces at work seeking to undermine Nigeria's growth. Okay, and we must not allow that to happen. And so we've got to think strategically. This is not the place of those strategic discussions, but most certainly awareness of the issue is important here. Okay, so thank you, Ndidi, and I'm really pleased about that conversation with you. And we most certainly will have her back into the studio. I think we're now. I think we're maybe ready to begin our main theme for today's program, which is, of course, mental health. Okay? But we want to tackle mental health, okay, in a number of ways. Okay, and today we want to think about mental health as it affects specific segments of our communities. Okay, and I want to begin, Lady Chelsea, because I see that we've got a number of guests who've already arrived. We want to begin the discussion really to begin to understand what we mean by mental health and so on. So first of all, Is Sister Marcia present, first of all? To make sure she's here. Sister Marcia.
I'm here.
Oh, good. How are you
Greetings.
feeling today?
Good morning.
Yeah? You feeling good?
I'm fine, thank you.
Oh gosh! I like the top. I made a mistake. I went with plain yellow on the basis I'm reflecting the sun, but I should have went. I should have went just like you. In fact, I should have put my other garment on, really. But anyway, you're mute. You are mute.
I think I'm going for nature today, so green.
Oh,
yeah, it's
you're
very
looking
nice.
very well, if I may say so. I don't want to flirt with you on air, really, but let me flirt with you a little bit. You look nice. Okay?
And look, Auntie June is all red.
Oh yes, there we go.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see her now. Hello there. Should I call her Auntie Judy? Oh, I can't believe what's on your chest.
And Jalija, I think he's iPhone JI. Jalija, what color are you to this morning?
Where is he?
Jalija?
Is he listening?
He's coming.
He's coming.
Let
us
prepare
today.
He must be getting his coffee.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. We can't see you. What color are you today?
Well, I just got out the bath and I'm just freshening myself now to go to church.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we won't keep you long.
Gosh, that's interesting. And who else is with us, Sis Marcia?
We have Ras Calvin.
Greetings.
Good
morning.
Greetings. We need to talk to him soon, right? Okay.
Listen
and I see there's one more person ending with 8405. Who's that person?
Not sure who that is.
I'm not sure that is. Okay.
No, it's two numbers.
Oh, okay. 8405. Good morning to you.
Take it off.
Don't worry, that person may just want to listen. That's okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Now, Sis Marcia, you know my co-host. You see, is Lady Chelsea. There you are. Okay, and I introduce her to you all. She will lead the questions. I believe I've found when we get older, Sis Marcia, we've got to give the young people the chance to lead. You know, give them a chance to lead. We should be advise and guide, but let them lead. Okay, my ego is not affected, because their success is our success.
Exactly.
Praise God, Rastafari. So I'm going to hand over to Lady Chelsea. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's fine. I just want to say hi everybody.
Hi, Lady
Good
Chelsea.
morning. Both look very nice today.
Thank you.
so I just want to get into the questions. Sorry, I was just waiting for my phone to load. Hi. So I don't know much about the Rastafarian community or anything at all. So this is going to be like, I have some like maybe basic questions. So forgive me. So I just want to start with like, what does being a member of the Rastafarian community like mean to you individually? And is like Rastafari, like, is it a religion? Is it a way of life? If you could just like give an explanation from your point of view, just so I and the audience can kind of understand.
Right. So Rastafari is a way of life. It's not a religion. It's a faith. So we believe in liberty. We believe in helping each other. We believe being humble. So it's a way of life. Jalija, how do you see Rastafari?
I think I just have to totally agree with you on everything you said.
How do you see Rastafari?
I see it as a way of life, a conscious.
Well, they can't see you, so you'll have to drag the chair. We can't see you. We're hearing a little voice from. I dragged everybody out of bed. It's like,
no.
You need to get over here. You need to be involved.
No, sorry. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's
Right,
Nice. You should be high now. It's sunny outside, huh? Come on. Come.
Right, so how do you see Rastafari?
I see Rastafari as a way of life and a consciousness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And an awareness of I self.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Did everyone have a...
Junie, we
Mama
didn't hear
Junie?
Junie. Mhm, mhm,
Auntie Junie?
Oh, hi.
mhm.
Hello.
Hey.
Greetings.
Hi. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Rastafari to everybody. For me,
Hello.
you know, for me, it is definitely a way of life, but it's about living and imbibing principles that you can connect with the universe to be one with nature.
Okay.
Thank you.
And if I may,
Oh, yeah, go on.
Lady
Yeah,
Chelsea,
sorry.
let me also affirm all what has just been said. And the energy and any intellect or power that I might possess comes from Rastafari and the belief system that it imbued. You know, because my grandfather was certainly a member of the community.
Oh,
And
wow.
it is from those roots that I am who I am. You know, I am who I am. Praise God.
Where in Jamaica is that?
Yeah?
Which area in Jamaica was that?
I'm from St. Thomas, yeah? Mount Bay area. Yeah? Mount
All
Bay
right.
area. Yes.
Good.
Yeah? Please, praise God.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah, so I have like an add-on question. You kind of described it as a way of life and not a religion. But how, I don't know, how is it like different from religion? Because I feel like some people would describe maybe Christianity or being like following Islam would be kind of the same of what you said, you know, connecting to maybe a higher and then having principles and morals. How is that different to what you described?
So religion is man-made. Religion is something that is taught.
Mm-hmm.
So with your faith or your way of life is a part of you. So it's something that is outward so people can see, resonate. But with religion, it's something that's man-made that is taught to you. So that's the difference.
Okay.
Anyone
Right, so
have anything different? Yeah. Jalija or Auntie Junie?
No.
Anything different? No?
I would
No.
use the word in their spirituality as well. It's a kind of spiritual way of life. So I would say that as well. And I think the spirituality, that's what connects us all. So it's about a oneness with you, with nature. You know, like being open to others' beliefs, that kind of thing. Just have an open. And the key word, you know, some men say God is a river. Some men say God is the sun. Others say God is, what they say? God is in the mountain. But who's saying all these things? It's man. So man, he's the one who's saying this, that. So hence God must be man or within man, you know.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. That makes sense. Would you? Oh, is someone? I think someone's on the phone.
I think someone said about a competition.
Oh.
Hello.
All right. Okay. Paul for a moment. Is that with number 0168? You would respond to the competition.
Hello.
Hello.
I don't know if they can hear. Yeah, we can hear someone. Are you here for the competition?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Oh, hello. Good morning. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How? I'd ask your age.
I'm 15.
You're 15. Okay, that's the oldest. That's the oldest person we've had. I'm shocked. Thank you for calling in. I'm just gonna read the question for you again, just for you quickly. So
and I
have a minute.
before Lady Chelsea proceeds,
Yeah, that's fine. I get prepared.
I hope that Sister Marcia and others, you understand. We have a young person who's come on to respond to our questions, which are designed for young people to win their prizes. You see, so I'm pleased that I want to give them the center stage whenever we have the opportunity.
Don't worry, we greyback one will still behind.
That's all right. Okay, cool. So what was your name? I don't think I asked.
My name is Ajani.
Ajani. That's a really nice name, Johnny. Okay, cool. So I'll read the question out for you and then I'll give you a second to respond. So this was the question for 11 to 16-year-olds.
Question 10. At what age did Tutankhamun pass away?
And when you're ready, if you have the answer, yeah.
I believe he passed away at 19.
Okay.
The answer is age 19.
Yes, so you're
Wow.
right.
Well done. Oh my
Yay.
God. Well done. Okay.
Yay.
Any hesitation? Before you go, I want to make sure I write down this number properly.
Yeah.
But don't take out now, don't you worry.
Yeah.
I'm going to capture it now. And if Lady Chelsea could do the same, this time we must not make a mistake. I won't get it wrong. There we go. Let's do this. You got it now, Lady Chelsea, have you?
Yeah, I have it.
Excellent. So, Anjali, we'll contact you immediately after this show, okay? And we'll make the arrangement for you to receive your £25, okay? And you will soon receive a copy of Malachi's book. And the title of the book, Lady Chelsea?
Tutankhamun, The Tale of the Adventurous Boy King.
Wow. There you are. Well done, okay? Well
Thank you for calling. Well done.
Yeah, well done you, okay? Thank you very much for the call. We very much appreciate you, yeah? And hopefully you'll call back and tell us what you're doing at school and what the exams you'll be taking at school. We're really interested.
Okay.
You don't mind? Do you mind doing that maybe one day?
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, it'd be good, yeah?
Okay.
We're very interested to hear about the life and times of young people, our children who are going through the school system, okay? And you tell us what it is you need in order for you to do your very best, you know? Tell us about the challenges and tell us indeed where, you know, where what's really good, you know? We want to better understanding what's happening inside schools where our children are being taught. For us, is so important, really important. Okay, that understood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Johnny. Thank you very much for the call. Thank you. All right, and give my regards to your parents. Yeah, yeah. Give your mum and dad a hug. Yeah, trust me, give them a hug. Give your mum and dad a hug. Okay.
Do you see young people doing that nowadays? They might be doing a flick or something.
They might, you know, they might, yeah. All right, then. Johnny, thank you very much then. Okay, bye-bye. We'll be in touch after the show.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Take care. Give thanks indeed. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Wow, there you are. Just Marcia. That must be your presence. You know that, don't you? Because we've been doing it for so long. They've been hard to get them to call in. So thank you, Marcia.
But you know, it's that mother instinct.
Oh.
You know, a mother of 4 boys and 1 girl. You know, that mother instinct draw them in.
Yes, I hear you. I need to get you back here every weekend, okay? Watch you now. Huh? Okay, we're going to hand back over to Lady Chelsea.
Yeah, sorry, where were we? Okay, yes, sorry. The question I had, this is for all of you again. Would you recommend your family and friends join the Rastafari community? Any of you can?
Certainly.
Yeah?
Certainly, because it's a way of life. You know, yes, there is a lot of stigma and discrimination being a Rasta, but within yourself, you have that peace of mind. You know, I know in regards to discrimination, going for work, and when I went for a big charity, they said to me a couple of months after I got the job, obviously because, you know, of being able to pass the application, everything. And she said to me, you know, when you came with your hair wrapped up, I was wondering if you were a mad woman.
Whoa.
So you do get those discrimination because you look different from the norm, but the way of life, you feel peace in mind inside, you know, but mentally it will get to someone as a Rastafari because they know they have the potential and everything, but because of how society perceive you sometime, that is the problem. Auntie Junie?
I think it's you know, when Councillor Seaton said that
I'm the motivator here. I'm the motivator.
Yeah. It's, you know, one of the things for me is I'm going to give you a little joke. We when we were going to Sunday school in a church on one side of the road, there was the Rasta community on the other side of the road, and me and some of the other children were more interested in the vibration and the you know, the understanding was so much about you as a person. It was more attractive to us. And so if you want that style of life that gets you to think about your whole body, your whole being in a very different way than how you are presented in the formal kind of traditional types of churches, that for me makes it really attractive. And also, because of the stigma and discrimination, being a part of communities that have to be industrious and productive to live. So the way you have to organize yourself and work together, my attraction has been more in Jamaica, watching people survive and thrive. So I'm attracted to it from very different places.
Okay,
that's what I wanted to share.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, that's fine. Thank you.
I understand.
Ras Calvin, would you recommend Rastafari to anyone?
Yes, I would, because it teaches you about your culture. Teaches you about your culture, your history. You know, like a tree with no roots can't bear fruit.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
No, that makes sense.
That's Elijah.
I think the only time I wouldn't recommend Rasta is if you say, okay, we're all going to meet at 9 o'clock and they turn up at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
I wonder if someone is guilty of that.
Well, I want to point out to the audience. That traditionally we have our guests that begin at 8:45. I want to note that this was true African time. All the guests arrived here by around 8:20.
Yeah. Early.
It was not late. They was not late. I'm going to say it again. Yeah. It was true African time. We're ahead of time. You know?
Trust me, they had two strong women behind it today.
You see? You see? But another supplementary to that question. As I review and study Rastafari and its history, its intent and potential future, I do become a bit perplexed by the numbers of different tribes or sects within the community. I don't understand why there are so many. Okay, can you maybe give us a hint of the different sects and why there might be so many? This will help us, because I want to get onto the on track in a moment, but this is the broader context, you see. Give us some idea why there's so many. Is it disagreement, philosophical disagreement? Is it interpersonal? Or is it some other spiritual realm which I'm not fully understanding? You want to respond to that?
Let me look at that now. You have the 12 tribe who believe in the 12 different tribes in the Bible. You have Nyabingi. Nyabingi is the first Rastafari mansion there was, because Nyabingi was a woman. She was a queen in Africa. From her, they became, out of that came Baba Dread. So it's like, you know, us as women giving birth to different things in different sectors. So I wouldn't say it would be like disagreement, but they're just different mansions. Just like you have the Christian faith, where you might have the Methodist, the Church of God, the New Testament Church of God, the different sectors. So it's the same thing with Rastafari. So I wouldn't say to be a disagreement. Some, yes, believe in the Bible. Some believe in Jesus Christ, while others might bun it.
Yes.
But you know, at least it's coming out of a woman, Nyabinghi. Let someone else speak.
Yes, I'm interested in other opinions on this. Yes. Who else want to comment on this? Oh, they've gone quite quiet. You've got live radio now, I might add, so you can't go quiet.
You know, I affirm that. That was really clear. And it's really important that there is free expression, because everything that comes up with a philosophy to share the teachings in a way that allows people to have an improved life.
Yes.
And similarly, you know, you had 12 disciples in the Bible, and they were listening to Jesus at the same time, but they still had different perspectives on what was going to be emphasized from that philosophy. So it still has a root.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Elijah, where is he? I can't see him now. Yes, I know you've got to say something now.
Okay, well, I think it's a very good question. Though I think I don't know. You know, I think it's just maybe just individuals. We have egos. How in positions of power are we? Are we doing the right thing? I was trying to give an example. At one point, they were all under the banner of the Ethiopian World Federation.
Yes.
That's an example. And then eventually, for reasons they may have felt, things weren't happening good enough. It's like you going to the Baptist church and you try it out a little and you think, well, I think I'll try Seventh-day Adventist. I think some people just went off and just did their own thing, maybe thinking that they could do it better or quicker. There's that. This all, you know, we as people, we're very kind of vain as well. Can you sit down and take orders? Are you a leader, or are you like one of the followers of the flock? And to be able to do that, I mean, so there's many dynamics to why there may be different organizations. Sometimes the ones who are really conscious, they have a personality conflict with each other. And that creates, you know, I'll go off and do my thing then, you know. But the sad thing about it is that in a time like this, when we need more unity,
absolutely,
instead of having all these organizations, why can't we just create one big one? And that's a challenge, I think.
Right. Okay. And I suppose in the subtext of my question is whether or not you would describe, Sister Marcia, of those mansions which are particularly spiritual versus others who are more materialistic. And I'm wondering if that will be a comparator, you know, in terms of their outlook.
No, because Nyabinghi and Baba Dread, they're very spiritual.
Yes.
They're very spiritual coming out of that. And I don't think Ethiopian World Federation was the beginning. I think Nyabinghi was the beginning. Ethiopian World Federation, I think, came out after Haile Selassie's speech and everything, where he decided to give a church or give a foundation for people to return. But Nyabinghi and Baba Dread, I think, even 12 Tribe, they're spiritual.
Yes, they are.
You know, so there's I don't think there is anything materialistic about it. I think people are the one who let it look materialistic. You know, the whole of Rastafari symbols and everything is been used and exploited over the years without Rastafari being able to make anything from it or benefit from it. So it's not that any of the mansions are materialistic, but it's the whole people along the line who are letting it be look that way.
Understood. Thank you. I'm going to hand back to Lady Chelsea. I know she's got another one. Interesting questions for you that we better understand, because there are many people out there listening, and I can see that just over 48,000 currently, who are unfamiliar with Rastafari, and I hope that through programs such as this, that we raise the consciousness and awareness, and eventual allegiance, I hope, right? Go on,
Okay.
Lady Chelsea.
So why is it important to have the members of the Rastafari community within the psychiatric medical care, such as doctors, nurses, therapists, counsellors, health practitioners? And would you be able to tell us about the On Track project?
Okay, all right.
First of all, I'm going to leave it to Auntie Junie.
That's fine.
Auntie Junie, okay, good.
Oh dear, respect, family. Let me begin just to say this. The On Track project is a research arm of the spiritual and pastoral care in mental health course that has been run for over a decade, to ensure that faith groups have the opportunity to learn about mental health, understand it, and how that applies to empowering and supporting their own communities' awareness, that we can not only just build our own mental health and well-being, but we can also take care of our own congregations, our own flocks, our own groups, our own families, our own communities, who are disproportionately overrepresented in many inpatient units, particularly in London, or where there is high density population of our communities. And so the course, that's the aim. So the course aimed to ensure that we had people from the community that reflect the people in the community that may not get a chance to see people of faith in their settings. So even when you come out of an inpatient unit, often you could be placed in a residential unit and not access the chaplains that would be on the wards. So the project started off considering increasing the chaplaincy to reflect the community. And so we used to place chaplains even in the residential units to empower and inspire people in their recovery, giving people hope and that connectivity. So that is really, really, really important, and getting mental health on the agenda of the faith program, particularly in our African communities, who, and I'm saying African meaning African in as the wider diaspora of African. Yeah. That meant that because of the stigma and discrimination of being Black, much less belonging to a faith group, much less the stigma of experiencing poor mental health and being sectioned or having a label of a mental illness. It was, if you think about it, is so layered when you talk about stigma and discrimination. It's really been important that you have targeted programs that can speak right into what that means. So we've done programs for Black-led faith groups, Black-led church groups, because you've got, as you talked about, you've got different levels or numbers of populations that belong to these strongholds, because faith groups are very stable communities. They're not like what's the word? They're not transient like other communities are moving in and out. The faith groups are the most stable groups that you can be working with, and I like what Councillor Seaton in. They imbibe and they shape the thinking. They have led, particularly Rastafari community has led the development and a revolutionary evolution of our community in England. They have led that. Whether people want to own that or not, they have led that. So I'm not even going to get into that because that's a story in and of itself. Right. So to make sure now, the On Track now looked at the success of the spiritual and pastoral care, and we scoped a value that it's really important to have an effective program that can begin to offer this education around mental health, because you cannot have the system full up of Black people in that way. When we are the smallest of the groups of the population, but yet have these high population on inpatient psychiatric wards. So On Track is a particular program focusing on Black people, Black faith groups. Yeah. And even though it particularly has Christian faith groups present, it includes Rastafari and any of the faith groups that has Black people in them. So On Track itself, the research program is over 5 years, and it is just completing the first of the pilot course in terms of formalizing a lot of the processes. And this course now is facilitated and directed by myself, and other people will come along and take over to run the pilot groups, because I'm a part of the, the origin of it. So other people now will come and run the 8-week program. It runs in an evening, and it's been online clearly because of the pandemic. But it's not focused on mental illness. It's getting people to understand mental health as your whole health, and that sometimes your mental health can be good, and sometimes it can be poor, and sometimes we can become ill. But it's got a more of a holistic approach and focused on promoting good mental health and having the confidence to have those conversations and what poor mental health looks like. And so the groups now have been doing presentations, and they've been using different themes around mental health to engage those conversations in their communities. So we're understanding that it's stigmatized. We're looking at the approach being holistic to enable people to find it accessible. And this is the first course that we've got for Rastafari one time.
Hey,
and particularly 4 awesome Black men. And as Councillor Seaton said, our men are not just intellectual, they are spiritual. They want to make a difference in our community. They are integral to the leadership of our community and promoting our masculinity and our identity as part of who we are and how we need to communicate with each other, not putting each other down, but that our masculinity and as our femininity needs to be balanced. So I'm so excited to have our brothers with us and the difference they are going to be making and making the time. And let's big them up for making the time to be a part of the program. Yes. And I'm going to leave it there. I've talked far too
long.
long.
No, that's fine. No, thank you.
It's a pleasure listening to you. Let me tell you, I've not eaten up, but I just want to listen to you because I understand now your reputation precedes you, you know, Julie, and why. It's a pleasure listening to you, honestly.
That's why I had to let her talk.
We come out from that, and I want to proceed with the brothers in a moment, and I know these questions will, judging by the message I've just received. So the first question that came up straight away when you said our numbers are relatively small, but the representation within the system is quite high. So the first question that was raised here is misdiagnosis. Okay, and as the medical profession looked at itself and has considered itself potentially exhibiting ethnic bias.
Did you want me to answer that?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. For years, it has had this conversation and had to investigate, and I'll speak for SLAM, for example, because that's...
So SLAM stands for?
South London and Maudsley Mental Health Foundation Trust covers Lambeth, Southwark, Croydon and Lewisham boroughs, even though it has arms, different parts of the country and international. So it's a world-renowned mental health trust. So in terms, it's been asked this question because it has the highest density of Black population in that mental health trust area it covers. So it's very important, and it gets challenged with that question all the time. Sure. And in its investigation, it has found that it is not misdiagnosing. However, it is now undertaking a national initiative. It's involved in a pilot called Patient Carers Race Equality Framework, PCREF, because the misunderstanding and inappropriate response to Black people, and PCREF covers BAME. I don't like that word.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not even going to go there.
We won't go there on that one just yet.
Yeah, they are having to address, because of the challenges of people don't like medication, people believe there is a misdiagnosis going on, and they want an answer to the over-representation.
Yes.
And however, PCREF is also a response to the independent review of the Mental Health Act, which has been so powerful contribution from Black people in Parliament, like Councillor Jackie Dyer, Lord Adewole, and these very powerful people who, as you said, are making sure that when that independent review happened, our voices were heard. And so it's not just over-representation, it is the misrepresentation of our behaviors, our response, that you've got a system design that is not designed to properly have good quality interventions for our community to bring better outcomes for our communities. And I'll leave it like that.
No, that's good. It's good. And thank you for that. And I won't pursue that particular line of questioning too much just yet, but maybe depending upon the callers, we might have to return to it. But I'm now interested in the course and the brethren here who are on the course, okay? And I wonder if any of them could provide us with some first-hand accounts of their experience to date. It'd be useful to hear from them. Who should I go with? Sister Marcia? Who first? Sister Marcia?
I think I'll leave it with Ras Calvin.
Ras Calvin. Please come forward, Ras Calvin.
How do you find your course? No, just how do you find a course? But it's not this.
I find the course very interesting, and it has raised my consciousness, my awareness about mental health in our community, and how widespread it is. Because you have certain days, you can go out and you see it, in different levels. And also when I'm at work, I can see, some of it there as well, because, doing the course has really made me aware of the signs, what to look for, like in people. And it's very good, because it means that I can help people, because I know what I'm going to be talking about and what questions to ask, and then to allow them to talk, and then I will listen, and then I can pinpoint, you need to work on this area, or if I can't help you in this area, I can put you in the right direction of someone that can help you in that area. So it's been very, very, very interesting and encouraging in all aspects. And also you can apply it as well to parts of my life and family and friends.
In terms of relationships with them and how to manage those relationships.
Yes, yeah.
I can see the advantages. Thank you for that. Where's the other brethren? Elijah, where is he now? Oh, there you are. Yes.
Hi.
Yes.
Yes, I think for myself, it was not very. It didn't come through on an academic level, although it was highly emotional for me.
All right. Okay.
Like nearly every single one of the lessons I had, I could actually either saw myself as one of the victims in it, or when they were describing relationships and how they failed, I recognized all the things. At one point, they said someone who had this state of mind could be having mental problems. And I looked at myself and I thought, sometimes I think like that. So then I'm thinking, So it was quite heavy. Then 1 week, one woman said she got actually detained and sectioned. That day, I'd driven 2 hours, I was tired. And after I heard that, my mind said, wow. And I think my brain actually shut down. I dropped to sleep. And then when I woke up an hour later, I just didn't know what happened. So it was it was realistic and highly intense. So when you listen to the cases, some of them it's just so realistic, so real. If you take it on and don't know how to, guard yourself,
yes.
It could be quite intense, the course, because of the depth that you go into. And Junie, sometimes when she intervenes in it, she gives another kind of twist to it, and she's quite, up front, So it can be quite intense, if you know what I mean. So it's been like that, but good overall.
Yes, thank you. That's an interesting insight. In other words, WAS is a course that equips you to, as the Bishop brothers said, identify issues in other people. You also see it in yourselves, because we all at some point suffer some mental health issues at some point in our lives. So I hear you on that. I hear you, and the emotional entanglement is always inevitable, I would imagine. We've got two other brothers on the line who've been very quiet. I don't know their names. Who's on 8405? Sister Marcia, where's she? I can't see. Who's on 8405? Or on 9034? Are these two callers connected with you, Sister Marcia?
No.
Yeah, Brother Akram, sorry.
Oh, Brother
There's
Akram.
Brother
Oh,
Akram.
Brother Akram. Ah,
Yeah.
Brother Akram, in that case, just hold on there. I'm going to bring you in because you're, in fact, just the person I want to speak to now. But what I'm going to do, if I may, I'm going to go back to Lady Chelsea. It's got a maybe one last question, I believe.
Yeah.
Then we can begin to open up the phone line. But Lady Chelsea.
Yeah, just one last question. How can interested listeners get involved on the On Track, or just anything? How do we get involved? What's your contact details? Stuff like that.
I'm happy to share my email, and we can put that out there to the listeners. I also have a telephone number, so I will leave it with the station for people who are interested. They can reach out at the station, and you can pardon.
That's okay. I think there's someone speaking in the background.
No.
Then the 8405. Can I just ask you either to mute yourself, but we can hear you. So go ahead, Julie.
Yeah. So I do give out my number publicly, 077 916 80262. So you can text me.
Very quick. That was very
077 916 80262. And I'll leave my email at the station because it's juni.mohammed@slam.nhs.uk, which is quite long. So Councillor Seaton or Chelsea, if you catch that, I'll make sure I put it in the chat, the right spelling.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And I think it's important to get in touch so that we can start to have more conversations in different places, everywhere. Mental health and well-being should be on everybody's agenda. We can make a difference to prevent poor mental health, but have these conversations as normal within our families, within our relationships, within our workplaces, within our faith settings. It should be everywhere.
Yes. Oh, I could just sit down and just listen to you all day, Thank you. You're a very good communicator, very good communicator. Let me just say this, though. I want to, before we open up the lines properly, I want to just really focus on the rustic community, quite specifically, because this show is themed around the rustic community. And you notice in our background, we've noticed a woman and a man. The woman's admitting that she has a mental illness, and the man's admitting that he's often depressed and has thoughts. That's very rare, isn't it? That's very rare for people to actually publicly admit it. Okay. If I may ask you, Sister Junie, how can we change that? Is this course intending to allow the community, particularly if I just focus on the rustic community, which I know quite well, we are very stubborn people, you see. Okay? Okay? Very stubborn, okay? So we're not easy. We're not easy, all right? So recognizing that, how is the course able to help the rustic community to take on this subject, Now, I'm looking at you, Sister Junie, but I'm also thinking of Sister Marcia, who I know is equally as dynamic as you, but it's an important question. I want to specifically focus on the rustic community for now, and we'll focus on the other communities later on another occasion, but here is the rustic community, because, if I may say so, it is the rustic community that's been a driver towards raising consciousness amongst peoples, both in the Caribbean, Britain, Europe, worldwide. It's the rustic community that's always been in the pinnacle, the spear of the arrow, as it were, So I'm interested as to how the rustic community can take that natural lead to raise the subject. But in order to raise the subject, itself has to look at itself and analyze itself from a psychological point of view and ensure that we are stable and we are clear as to why we are conscious people. So now, this Julia.
I think how I've experienced the Rasta community taking part in the course. We have had many influential Rastafari people involved in the course, but I think because the people who are proactive sometimes are spread thin, like butter. There's only so much they can do. So the more that we have involved, the more we can build our capacity to have these raising awareness and the confidence to have these subjects and normalize that actually the impact of this life can result in us breaking down. So rather than just us talking about the problem, but also look at what can we do to underpin ourselves, because the impact of the life is so tough that not everybody can withstand it. Because Marcia will talk about more of the impact of the discrimination that we face. But I'm going to talk about the more honest we are that this is happening to us. This is not happening to us just now. It's been happening to us a long time. Rastafari community is going through this a long time. We have to be open and honest and start having these conversations, but also be honest to say, well, how does it look? Does it look like domestic violence? Does it look like high rates of unemployment? Does it look like dropout rates out of the education system? Does it look like the overrepresentation in our criminal and justice system? Does it look like all these different things? What does it look like? What does poor mental health look like? Then the Rastafari community has been very good at eating a clean, wholesome diet. And how do we use the diet and other behaviors to strengthen our core, our soul, our resilience, that we can just bounce back and have our goals ahead of us to spearhead? So people need to understand having health as a foundation to allow you to move forward. Poor health is affecting the delivery of our program. So when people have been talking about reparations, repairing our health, our minds, our souls, our aspirations, that we can be not just divided in our physical body, because poor mental health separates you. It crushes your soul. And so people feel detached from their spirituality when they get broken down. You know, it affects your spatial awareness. So we have to be underpinned by good living and talking about promoting good mental health in everything. Then you can start to see a change, not just talking about illness and the problems, but making sure, are we practicing good mental health and well-being? Sorry, I got into thinking. I'm so sorry. Sorry. Sister Marcia, and your time.
That's all right. In regards, right. So in regards to like Sister Auntie Junior just said, that I like to look at the impact of the discrimination that we go through, because when you look at the statistics inside of the prison, inside of the mental institutions, we are not, as Rastafari, there is no data on us. That is the problem. There's no data.
How you mean?
Meaning that when someone is sectioned, when someone is go to prison, and they have the boxes that they will tick Christian, Muslim, or they'll tick other. With the other, we are inside of that other. With others, the pagan and the 16 other groups or whatever. So it doesn't specify. So even a Rasta going into prison, what they might do is put their religion as Muslim. That way they can get the diet.
Okay.
You know, because we are not recognized that way, even though since 1981, you know, it's been in Parliament where they're saying that Rastafari should be recognized as a faith. So that is a problem that Rastafari have in regards to the mental issue. I have written to SLAM, I've asked them, they said that under the Freedom of Information Act, they can see how much feedback or complaint they have from Rastafari. What they're saying to me is that something about PPI governance in the future, they can see if they can add Rastafari to their data so it can be populated later on, but at presently there isn't anything. So that's the sort of discrimination that I'm trying to look at, to say, we are here, why are you not collecting data on us when we are the one that have been sectioned more than anyone else? Because we say Jah instead of Jesus. You said, oh, you're a mad person, and you know, next thing you know, you're getting some form of injection.
Yes,
so why isn't there any data collected over all these years? Just the same with the, you know, so that is what I'm trying to look at, the impact of the discrimination on us as a Rastafari.
I'll gladly join with you on this. I do believe that the South London Maudsley Foundation Trust should be collecting appropriately delineated data on our community. Clearly, the Rastafari has been an integral part of our community since time begin. So it's interesting. That's interesting. So you and I should work on this.
Yes.
And we should seek to ensure SLAM recognizes us finally. I'm astonished. In fact, I'm kind of annoyed that is the case. In fact, I'm going to join with you on that. In a year's time, you and I can come back here, and I want to see a change.
Definitely, I'm not going to drop it. I'm not going to drop it.
We're not dropping it. No way. Remember, we're stubborn people. Remember, we're stubborn people, right? So. At the very least, that's going to be an outcome from this program, as well as listeners taking an interest in the On Track project, which you have a website, of course, called On Track. If I'm trying to recall the URL for the website, I believe the website, it's www.ontrackproject.com, and I'll spell it ONTRAC project PROJECT.com, ontrackproject.com. So it's you have a website.
No, so that is for the project in regards to going on the course.
Right.
Okay. For the faith, for different faiths of Black. But with me, it's Black Mama Earth. Right. My company is called Black Mama Earth, and that is the one that is now trying to get as much men or kings involved in regards to being pastor, because presently I'm a NHS bank Rasta pastoral at the moment.
Say that again. Let me say that again. Let me hear that again.
Right. So I am a NHS bank pastoral chaplain.
Right. What's that thing?
Yes, I. So if there's a Rasta is in prison or is it in the hospital and say, I need to speak to a Rastafari chaplain, then I'll be called. So yes. Wow. So it's not a Marcia thing, it's a Black Mama Earth thing, where we're trying to get as much of our brethren who understanding the mental health impact on our Rastafari community, get them involved so they can be part of it as well.
Now, do you have a website as yet?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay. And how can people contact you also, Sister Marcia?
Right, so they can contact me on blackmamaearth@gmail.com.
So are you spelling black with a K or CK?
Yeah? Black, yep. BLACK, Mama, MAMA,
yep.
Earth,
yep.
arth@gmail.com.
Right, got that. Okay,
Right.
Lady Chelsea, you've got that as well. Yeah, just make sure.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So what I'm doing at the moment, I'm asking for, well, we have a presentation this evening at 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
All 4 of us who will be graduating soon from Mama Junie will be having a
today
at 5 o'clock.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, well,
that's a presentation to look forward to with all the kings are, putting their, like Ras Calvin is dealing with early intervention in mental health in the Rastafari community. I know Jalija will be dealing. Jalija, you're dealing with COVID-19 impact on Rastafari's health? Jalija?
Yes, that's
Right,
correct.
so
Yes, I am.
Rastafari's health in COVID-19. I think I'll be dealing with the tree of well-being in Rastafari, and the impact on Rastafari. I think Rastesfa is dealing with Haile Selassie on the spiritual healing. So he'll be talking more of how Haile Selassie deals with mental health. So that's what we're trying to do at the moment. And, any donation that anyone wants to give to us, we have a NatWest bank account for Black Mama Earth, where we're trying to raise money to help our people in the community, but still we're trying to help those who are incarcerated at the moment as well. Okay. So I can pass those details to you or later on if you want. Thank you very much. I'll definitely take those details later, and I wish you all well later today. Thank you. Okay, so well done. Yeah. So let's take some callers, because it's been so exciting just listening and interacting with you. It's been really fascinating, I've got to tell you. And Sis Junie, well, I look forward to meeting you in real person sooner or later, Excellent communicator. So let me now move over to caller on 9034. Brother Akram?
Yeah, hello. Yes, good morning, motivator. Morning to Sister Chelsea. Morning. And big up our sister there from the Rasta movement, the chaplain. Big her up all the time. Can you just give me a couple minutes to come back to you, because I just have to answer an emergency here. If I can come back to you in about a minute or two.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to go to another call. In that case,
yeah, please. Yeah.
Can I now
Greetings,
go to
Chelsea? Greetings, Mr. Motivator.
Good morning.
Greetings.
Greetings. How are you?
How are you?
Who are we speaking with?
Ending 8201, I believe it is.
Yeah, it's Zaritu.
Yes. Good morning. You're a bit faint for me, but if you could speak up a bit.
I was actually calling to answer the competition question.
Oh, competition question.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh. Says Marcia, I tell you, you could come again. I'm going to hand you over to Lady Chelsea.
Okay. Hi, good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great today. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Is it okay if I just ask your age?
9.
9. Oh, you're 9.
Oh, 9 years old. Well, thank you, Marcia. I tell you, just Junie, you're effective. Okay.
I know.
Children are calling today.
No, that's great. Thank you for calling in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the question again, and I'll give you a second to respond and give your answer. Yeah. Okay, cool. 1 second. Let me just do this. Sorry, I was not expecting this. Okay.
Question 4. What does Kemet mean?
Yeah, so the question was, what does Kemet mean? And your answer?
The answer is the Black Land.
Yeah, that's right. The land of the blacks.
Why?
Yeah, that's right. Well done. Well done. Well done for that.
Well done. Yeah. Well done. Well done. Sure if Lady Chelsea, if you just take note number as well.
Yeah, I'll just get your number. So we have
want
it.
the telephone number?
It's okay. I'll read it. I'll copy it from the screen. Yeah, so you don't have to say it out loud. Okay.
I didn't. I don't think they said it correctly when they invited me in. So I just was checking.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It ends in
No,
405?
it should. Yeah. 8405 is the end. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, yeah, so once you get your £25 and a copy of the book. So thank you for calling in. You were great.
Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah, sorry, I'm back with you.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
What should I
So
do now?
thank you, young one.
So we'll get back. Yeah, so we'll get back to you about the prize and everything. Yeah, so we have your number. We'll contact you after the show. Okay. Thank you.
Well done.
Bye.
Thank you.
Wow. The Rastafari, that's the effect, you know. Anyway, go back to Brother Akram.
I think Brother Akram is back.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. What I would like to say, as I said, I dig up our sister there, and you know, as you said, there are serious problems in the Rasta movement, and I, you know, I'm sorry I have to say it, but there is a lot that they can do for themselves. And I keep asking myself, why is it that they're not doing the great things that they are supposed to be doing? You know, I mean, many people think that this body's doing that and that body's doing that. But they can do a lot more, you know, in the context of saying, well, because they're an organization, right? Let's say if you have 20,000 people in this country.
Question though, Brother Akram, but I'm going to have to press you for a question, okay? Because I hear the background, but I'm keen for a question because this concert we've got very little time. So give us the question based upon what you've heard today, because it seemed to be extremely positive to me, I have to tell you. So,
but it is very positive. But basically, as I said, I'm looking at the solution. I really don't want to put a question because I think that the solution is where I'm coming from, right? Because what I'm saying is, you have 20,000 people here. What they need to do is to form a strong foundation, right? Where, as you know, in the government, right? There are lots of help within the government. Well, unfortunately, because we are not united enough together, right? 5 people going to the government is not going to get anything. 10 people, as you know, is not going to get anything.
Okay.
Right? So but if you have all those
community here today.
So Elder Akram, are you a Rasta?
No, I'm not a Rasta, but I mean, what I'm saying is I'm for my people, and what I'm looking at is that when what I'm saying is,
Rome wasn't built in a day.
No, it wasn't built in a day, but for how many years these problems have been there. But I'm saying the lack of the Rastas coming together, you know, in a unity in a cooperative collection of people. That's why the problem is there. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so you've identified the problem. Okay, hold on. You identified the problem, which I think we asked earlier today as well. This particular strategy to encourage the training of Rastas to better understand and be able to intervene where people are on the verge or experiencing psychiatric crisis, mental crisis, okay, is an important step forward to strengthening the Rasta family. Okay, would you agree?
I agree wholeheartedly, but I'm saying to you, right, one or two people is not enough.
Forgive me, Brother, I don't want to take it further, because really it's important, because there are thousands listening, and we want to make sure that as a result of each of our interactions, we are empowered, okay? So we can look at the past and underperformance. I believe we should look forward to overperformance. We want to perform well, okay? So let's think about what are the mechanisms, what are the structures that we need to put in place in order that we will perform well, yep? We will overperform, as some might say. So I hear you.
If Brother Akram is ready to work with me, you know what I'm saying? I've left my email address and everything, and that is a start. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, Rome is not built in a day, and you cannot, like I said, there's a lot of discrimination that have happened over the years. We have to try to overlook those and try to see how we can help ourselves in a different manner. So I've got my constitution. You want to work with me so we can start building something in the Rastafari community? By all means, get in touch, Mr. Elder Akram.
Yeah. Elder Akram?
Well, as I said, please, you can, because I haven't got the pen to get the details at the moment. But
I'll get it to you.
You can write to me on the in the ACU info@acu.coop, or you can write to me there, or send an email to.
I'll get the information to you. I'll get the information.
Yeah. Okay.
If you're prepared to work with Sis Marcia, I know that only good result will result from that union.
Blessed love.
Right.
Yeah, most certainly. Okay. I'm willing to do that.
I'm going to thank you for your call. Thank you for your call today. Okay, thank you for that.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
There's someone on 8201. I'm not sure if
let me see the 8201. 8201. Would you like to say something to us? Or maybe that 8201 wants to just listen.
Is 8201?
No? They're not going to pick up. Okay, never mind. Don't worry. That's okay. That's okay. So I think they might be saying something. By the way, never mind. That person may be not paying attention at the moment. That's 8201.
Right, Sister Junior, Mama Junior, you go in.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Just to say, I'm gone for now. Okay. But just to remember, we also have a reparations movement, and we have a serious sister called Esther. Is it Stanford? Yes. Who has taken millions of Black people to Parliament to address the issues and the disparities that our communities face. So I think we need to look at how we're going to address this area of work in, global, national, regional, and at a community level. And on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you for now, and I can't wait to come back. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure.
No, you're welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Now, thank you. And what I'm going to do, if I may, I'm going to just give out the telephone number one more time. We've got limited time now. So the telephone
Hello,
number...
Martin.
Oh,
hi, Martin.
Oh, is that Brother Alvin?
Yeah, it's me. I'm just listening to the debate, Martin. Very interesting. I think there's a lot of things we need to do. We as the Black community need to do to change things. One of your speakers said something about Rome wasn't built in a day, but the thing is, it's been 300 years, and we haven't seen any real changes. So we need to get together and make sure that people have different approaches and do things differently, especially those people in position of authority who make decisions which affects our daily life. So the coming together is very, very important, and I definitely support that. We need to find ways.
Pose this to you,
not looking so divided, and
if I may, interrupt you. If I may, Brother, let me interrupt you. So, I'm aware that yourself and Sister Marcia actually reside no more than a mile away from each other.
Yeah, you don't know each other. But we can talk.
But you don't know each other. Hold on, listen. But you don't know each other, okay? And I also know that Sister Marcia, in her work with the Black Mama Earth organization, okay, would, I'm sure, want to talk to you directly. You have a resource there that could be very well used and supported by a Black Mama Earth, and I suspect that putting you two together, that this will be a union made by Jah. Okay?
Wow! Wow!
I'm confident of that. So
that's where I'm coming from.
Exactly.
Who's the person who's on the phone?
Tobin Graham.
Mr. Graham.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to organize a meeting for you both together. Okay. because you are both, I've known you both for some time. And as I said, it's circles within circles. And I'm confident when I say that you are both speaking from the same place, yeah? There's no doubt. You're both from the same spirit. There's no doubt. This is Naibingi. This is true Naibingi. Just when I say that to you, and I mean that, okay? So
that's good.
The fact he's called today, it's significant.
Because when I said Rome wasn't built in a day, it was, look how long you have NHS. No one knew that there was no data collected on Rastafari.
Can you imagine why? Okay.
It's only in March that was picked up. You know, so that's how I'm pursuing stuff. You know, same thing with the prison. It's like, hold on. So what about the chaplaincy? You know, you have for the prisons, for the mental institution. How do I know that Rastafari is getting the proper diet they're supposed to be getting? If their section, you know, they're out in the medication they give them. How do I know you're not giving them pork? Where's the representation? So those are the things that I'm trying to find out for Rastafari. Yes, I'm there for all my Black people, but I'm a Rasta first. I'm a woman. So I'm looking out for woman. I'm looking out for Rastafari. Blessed love.
Blessed love. Aye, aye. And Orbin, trust me.
I don't think we are in dispute, Martin.
I know you're not. I know. That's why I'm going to arrange for you both to meet up. So that's another outcome from this show. The first outcome is that I'll work with Sister Marcia, and we'll ensure that the South London Wolseley Mental Health Trust recognizes in its data the Rastafari community.
Give thanks.
Yeah, and secondly, that I should put together Sister Marcia and Orban Graham in one, but I know both of them have the same ambitions, and both have resources that, if combined, will complement and make something even greater than the individual parts. Yeah? I'm confident that will happen. Okay, so that's another outcome I want for today. And the third outcome we want to achieve from this show and indeed subsequent shows is an interest from the community, most certainly from the Rasta community and indeed the broader Black African communities, okay, Caribbean or from continent, to get involved and supporting this project, the Black Mama Earth Project, to encourage our people to become practitioners and understand what it means to have good mental health, as described by the inspiring Sis Julie. Oh, Mohammed. Oh, it's something. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And last outcome.
If anyone is interested in regards to the presentation this evening, they can just email me and I can send them the link. So it's blackmamaearth@gmail.com. If you just email me, I'll send you the link for later on. So that's going to be a presentation in a whole, having 4 people talking about mental health in the Rastafari community.
I'm going to be there. I promise you, I will be there. Okay, I'll be there. And if I may, the last outcome from this show is that, if I may, you don't realize this, Sis Marcia, is that an unusual number of young people have called in today.
Good. I'll be back so more can call. Yeah. I might even get my grandchildren to call as well.
You understand? It is your dynamism.
Thank you.
It's your dynamism that has caused this to happen, you know? And it is through that energy, that feminine energy, you know? Because we men have typically got to humble ourselves, you know? We've got to humble ourselves. You know? You see the brother laugh there behind you? We just got to humble ourselves, you know? I've learned to humble myself when faced by inspiring women, you know? You see, Lady Chelsea up there, she has no idea how inspiring she is, you know? She was just a listener, and she asked to participate in the show. And there she is,
smile as well.
Our co-presenter.
Thank you.
We just got to watch the women and follow your lead, yeah? That's why I say unto you, praise Jah, Rastafari, long may the energy stay with you always, you know?
What I've done is I've put the NatWest Bank details in the chat. So if you want, you know, you can send that to your listeners. And, you know, we're asking for donation because there's so many people in the community with mental health at the moment. this COVID-19 has caused, it has exposed a lot of the discrimination that's happening. You know, a lot of Rastas, they don't want to be involved or ask for help from the mainstream. So there's a lot of people, you know, Croydon, I'm getting a lot of emails, Thornton Need, you know, in Lambeth here as well. So we need to help ourselves. So any donation that can be given, we appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, I'll make sure that happens, and I'll most certainly distribute it, and we will keep repeating it in future shows, and I'll include this as part of our general mail out repeatedly for the next 6 months or so, just to make sure.
Give thanks. And me and you, we're going to work on how we can go to all the different boroughs and find out about Rastafari in detention, in the prisons and everything.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
I think we're now going to have to come to a close now. Come to a close. This is our time's up, but I want to thank you all for your contributions. You know, it's been truly inspiring. It was always going to be inspiring. Okay. Now I hope that the pictures which are behind me, you know, where people are admitting their current status. Okay, I can take away the mask. You know, so they can see who they are and they can speak for themselves. You know, one day. You know. But you know, Sis Marcia, and I say to the brethren present, thank you so much. You know, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're in the vanguard. You know, you're
Rastafari, and see you later at 5.
Yes, I'll see you later at 5.
All right, blessed love.
Bye bye.
Rastafari.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Lady Chelsea, what's your opinion, Lady Chelsea? Come on, tell them, huh?
No, no, it's a really good show. I appreciate you all coming on, as you know, as something I don't really know much about. So it's something new. It's a new topic for me. And your energy and information was really helpful. So
don't
thank
worry,
you.
You're going to have to see my face.
That's fine. I'm fine with that. Don't worry.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Take care. Take care. Wow. That was quite a show, Lady Chelsea. Huh?
Yeah,
that was quite a show.
That's good. It was.
Yeah,
different.
And it was interesting the number of young people that were able to call in at the same time.
I know.
You know?
Yeah.
Something happened out there. You know, there's some spiritual connection somewhere. That's what I predict. You know,
energy or something.
It's
yeah.
So now we've got to make sure we get those books out now, I suppose. We discussed it early on. We weren't sure why they were calling in, but in fact, we just need the right spiritual energy to be present. I suspect, you know? So I think that's the right thing to do. And now that we've heard from the Rasta community, I think it'd be right for us to develop the theme around mental health as a general theme, and look at other initiatives within the community that looks at this particular issue. Okay, and it'd be really good to get an NHS consultant or doctor to discuss the issue with us. You know, I think the issue with Islam not recognizing the Rasta community, well, I think that's quite offensive. After all these decades, they're not recognizing an integral part of our community. Good. No, that needs to be put right. Definitely needs to be put right. So it's an issue to watch. It's us to pull every lever we can in order to get the NHS to recognise the Rasta.
Definitely. Yeah.
After all, they recognise the Sikh community. Why would they not recognise the Rasta community? You know? So we need to have that put right. What other observations do you have for today's show?
I think I suppose the biggest thing was just like not being recognised in different areas. Like she mentioned the healthcare and the prison system a couple times. So I think them having to put themselves down as Muslim to get the diet that they want. I think that was surprising that there wasn't something there, especially because every religion has their own things to follow, food or clothing or whatever. So you think that there would be they'd be able to be specific on getting those people what their religion requires, I suppose.
It is interesting because in order to deliver good healthcare, you need to understand your patients.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the first rule of medicine. You must understand your patients. And if you don't understand your patient, you can't deliver good health care. So they'll not be receiving good health care. Now, and I'm a lay person, I don't know this. But the fact that these highly trained professionals, is it a mistake or is it deliberate? That's the question. These are highly trained professionals. No? They know better. They know better. You know? They know better. You know. In my world of politics, you know, if you don't understand your community, you can't serve them. You know. You can't represent them properly. You don't understand them.
Not properly.
You don't get in and share the food and participate in their customs and so on. You can't represent them properly. You know. So I do think that medical profession in this regard has got a lot to answer for. And you know, whether it be misdiagnosis, whether it be ethnic bias or other reasons, it's clearly evidence that there's something amiss here. You know, something amiss. There is definitely something amiss. And we should not let it go. To let it go would be to the community, indeed, British society, a disservice. So, I do believe it's one that we need to think about very carefully. But to go back, if I may, now to the two young people who responded positively to our questions. Okay, so well, after this show, we'll arrange to speak to the parents, we'll get the money over to them, and of course, we need to get some signed copies of Malachi's book. Maybe we should get Malachi back in again. You know, need to refresh those questions and find out if he's yet thought about the new book. I think he was thinking about the book when we last spoke.
He did. So he's wanted to start writing the next one.
Yeah. So I would have thought that he could. He must be ready for his new book. But I need to speak to his mother. His inspired parent and inspired mother. That's what I was speaking to.
Yeah.
So early on, when you have inspired parent, grandparents, family members, or friends around you, particularly if it's a young person, they, you know, that's what they need. To perform at their best. So
Definitely.
I'm confident that will make a difference.
Yeah.
But anyway, they are starting our tune. Thank you, Lady Chelsea. I think that was a very good show. I really enjoyed myself. You?
No, same. Yeah, awesome. That's good.
I know you're a bit tired early on. You know what? We do shows like this, makes your day better.
Yeah.
Blessings to you.
Okay. You too. Goodbye. Bye, everyone.
Blessings, everybody. Blessings to you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You see